99.3 Nigeria Info. Good morning, Lagos. Welcome to the second part of the show, Dailies today. That's right. I'm Sheriff Quadry.
And I'm Jimi Disu. Good morning.
We're on Facebook. We're also streaming live on YouTube. You're most welcome to join the community there. Let's know what you think about the headlines that we're about to bring your way this morning. Okay, Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. YouTube is Nigeria Info FM. You're most welcome to join our broadcast on those two platforms. Let's start with the Punch newspaper this morning. Here we go. Our first story: Nigeria condemns Guinea-Bissau coup. Jonathan evacuated by special flight.
Yeah, morning everybody. You all know that President Jonathan went to Guinea-Bissau to monitor the elections, and I think in the process of disagreements and so on and so forth, there's been a coup, and some of us were worried that our former president was caught up in Guinea-Bissau. I mean, it got to a point where sometime, I think it was this week, the House of Representatives had to urge the President Bola Tinubu's government to take urgent, I'm reading from the papers now, to take urgent diplomatic action to ensure Jonathan's safety. The Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, highlighted the matter during plenary, describing it as an important emergency. And the House Leader, Julius Ihovere, noting Jonathan's extensive experience as an election observer and so on and so forth. And he says currently he's trapped in Guinea-Bissau because of the coup. I think that it shouldn't even have got to that level where the House would have to urge the government to bring him back. I would have thought that immediately there was a coup, we should use all our contacts to get in touch with the junta and to say to them, our president is there. He's there on special duty. We want to send a jet to bring him back. Anyway, he arrived yesterday, but I didn't like the optics. He arrived yesterday in what looked like the presidential jet of Côte d'Ivoire. And in international relations, all optics matter. I don't think Nigeria is so poor that we couldn't have found a presidential. Guinea-Bissau is probably about 2-3 hours from here. I don't know where it is. But the optics for me would have been him arriving in Nigeria's presidential jet. And if it was an opportunity we missed or it was deliberate, I don't know what excuse will be given. But again, you don't want to be called the giant of Africa and you can't do simple things like evacuating your president with your own plane. I didn't like that at all. And I think the government should take note of this. This also may be part of what we say about not having an ambassador in a country. Because immediately this thing happened, maybe we would have been evacuated first to the Nigerian embassy there. And from there, you send a jet to pick him up. Nigeria has to show efficiency at all levels. They have to get the optics right. It might sound trivial to a lot of people, but you see, your positioning in the international community is predicated mainly on how you take care of what might appear to be the little things. So I hope the government will take note of that. By the time it happened, within an hour or two, there was a coup. There should have been a statement saying that, look, all efforts are being made to bring back President Jonathan. In fact, some other countries, any of their citizens, you try and see what happens. For example, when an American citizen is trapped somewhere, and see how he will be evacuated. But the good news is that he's back, and we are glad to see him. By the way, do you think this gentleman is still going to contest the election? I don't think so.
What I don't know.
Well, he's been making some statements really, and I don't think he'll be inclined to contest the election. Would you want him to contest?
I don't have an opinion.
I'm not asking.
I don't have an opinion on that.
Let me finish my question. I didn't say will you support him. I said would you want him to?
Wanting him is showing interest in him. I don't have an opinion.
What now? This is what they call a laudukon. This is that to tell me that it's not relevant. Jonathan is relevant.
I am not saying that.
His record is good.
That's not what I said.
I will pay you back.
That's not what I said.
I'm going to pay you back.
So here is what I know. President Jonathan started this entire mess that we're in right now. That I know.
And then you say you won't support him. Not that
I don't have an opinion whether I will support him or not. It's not in my place to support anybody right now.
Fired if you don't have an opinion.
I do not have an opinion.
You should be fired.
I mean, I should get erased for saying that. Let's go to the Vanguard Sports. Sorry, sir. Where is the money? World Drum questions NFF.
The mess in the NFF is something else. The former Super Falcons head coach, Randy Waldrum, has raised fresh concerns over the NFF handling of funds purportedly released by FIFA for the team's preparation for 2023, this is 2025, Women's World Cup in Australia. In a result video circulating on X, Waldrum alleged that the NFF received $960,000. 960, that's close to $1 million, approximately 1.4 billion from FIFA in October 2022. Funds, he says, were meant to support the Super Falcons build up to the tournament. And he says that I have a real close contact here in the US that is very connected with some of the board at FIFA. This person told me in October every country was given 960K from FIFA to prepare for the World Cup, and he doesn't know what happened to the money. I also think it doesn't help that some members of the FIFA here, some members are living in a very lavish, that's the optics that you get. I know a former NFF leader who he drives an Escalade, he drives a Rolls Royce. And even if he's the richest man, even if he's Dangote, there is something called the optics. And Sheriff, I hope you will agree to this one. You know that the issue of funds was also one of the reasons that was given, or one of the suspected reasons for why we didn't do too well and get to the World Cup.
Yes.
I think it's time we set our eyes on what is going on. I know corruption is no longer an issue in Nigeria. It's a given, and it's done brazenly. I don't know how I will be an NFF former chairman or whatever and be driving around in an Escalade and a Rolls Royce. There's something wrong with the mentality of Nigerians, where you are in a position where people suspect almost 70% that some of the funds that are meant for the opposition you occupied have gone south. Yes, you now in a brazen manner want to show. It's like I remember a former governor. He had just left office and turned 60, and the next thing he did was to go and buy a Rolls Royce. And so I said to myself, even if you could afford these things, what about the optics? We don't care. We don't care. Nobody cares about. In fact, if anything, it would do Thanksgiving. We'll also do all kinds of nonsense. Call the most expensive band in town, spray money, and we sit back and lap it up. But this is just for your information. I know nothing is going to come out of it. If I ask Sheriff now, you see, do you have an opinion on this?
On this one?
Yes.
This story has actually been around for some time.
Okay.
FIFA had this project that they usually do with footballing nations, the members of FIFA, so they give them funds and all of that. 1.4 billion was given to Nigeria, and they were supposed to build a stadium for a project, and what was shown, what we saw, because was nothing compared to what that money could have been able to erect. And then a lot of NFF members, were questioned. Even past NFF president Maju Pinnick was talking about it and was trying to justify why that money wasn't enough. And in my head, I'm thinking, what is this guy saying? So because government cannot interfere in sport, in especially in football matters, does that mean that you guys get a free pass to do whatever it is that you want to do?
Well,
with
those who have
to pay our footballers their winning bonus, their match bonuses and everything since God knows since when, because right now I've lost count. They couldn't pay it.
Which government do you want to find out what's happening when the government itself is not any better? Look at all our political office holders. Look at the lavish life they live. They don't care about the optics. It's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
It's a whole mess.
It's a mess. Look at what a former governor has been doing, running circles around the EFCC. Or Letambo, let's say. That is one of the downsides of democracy, really. That's during the military government they accuse you and you'll be doing that. My God. My God. Well, the money is. We don't know where the money is.
It's like you say. It's part of the larger mess that the entire country is, because there's no consequence for anything.
No,
there's no. People just do things, and they come bold-faced to lie, to try to justify their nonsense.
Some are even so brazen. Look at a federal. I'm sorry, I keep repeating this thing. A federal minister is asked. You were seen driving a Rolls Royce. The symbolism of it, I don't want to talk about, because it is a question of manners, how you are brought up, how to eat in public. And he said his question answer was, so what? And nothing has happened to him. So go and do your work, so what?
Okay. Interestingly, the editorial of the Daily Trust is on sports.
Yeah.
Super Eagles and NFF's endless woes.
Yeah, there's a coincidence, because the story was in Vanguard, and now it's in the Daily Trust. The Daily Trust says it's called Super Eagles and the NFF's endless woes. One wonders why Nigerians keeps losing appearances at important tournaments with the caliber of players who are making waves at their various clubs. In the same week Nigeria crashed out, Victor Osimhen was celebrating a league and cup double with Galatasaray. Okay. Galatasaray. After scoring 37 goals. Ademola Lookman is Atalanta's talisman. Victor Boniface is terrorizing Bundesliga defenses. And Premier League Nigerians, Olaino, Wilfred Ndidi, Alex Nwobi, Calvin Bassey and others are starting every weekend for their club. First is the cavalier treatment of the players. This reared its ugly head just before the match against DR Congo, when players boycotted training, demanding their unpaid allowances. Many of the players have at different times complained of being abandoned by the NFF after suffering injuries while serving their fatherland. This has been a recurring decimal. The NFF still like to operate in a fire brigade manner. Often preparations are left to the last minute, which leads to poor readiness and uncertainty. Often the fans are left to wonder what to expect of their teams. So the Daily Trust has called for an immediate change of attitude from football managers. But I say that you are not going to get any immediate change because the country itself thinks that way. Your pastor will be happy when you bring your generator and whatever for the church. Your family will be happy when you put 2 cows down at Christmas. Yeah, your little ones are, brother, I need this, brother, I need that. We have an attitude towards corrupt practices, so we will pay for it. We will pay for it. They said that I find this laughable, because the church says that, listen to this, Sheriff. Listen, hold your chair, because you are going to laugh now. The federal government must come in to install sanity and confidence into the management of the nation's football, when the federal government itself is not showing much sanity in the things that they're doing. And we must tell those who are ready to give the nation the best of their effort to either simply resign or show the way out. And let the federal government set the first example.
Yep.
This federal government has not fired anybody for misconduct.
Let them lead by example.
Let them lead by example. But today is Friday. I want to enjoy myself. So that's the situation we have. I don't think it's any different from what we are facing in our lives here. 7:46.
Yes, insecure. But before we go into this next story, so there's this story in our news. It's a story that we've been tracking. It's about the one that we talked about the other day. traders at Oniru Market complaining
Yes,
about
yes.
being forced. So we spoke with INEC in Lagos. INEC said they did an investigation and they found out that no trader was being forced
Look
to
at
move
that.
their polling unit. That what the market people were just doing, the market leadership was doing, was to try and encourage people to go and register for their PVC and everything.
I don't believe what Anek has said. I'm sorry. I don't believe so. I listened to the program. I heard people calling in, not just from that
Oniru,
market, or other
okay.
markets, and it's done regularly. So I'm sorry, but that is the beginning. You see, these little things are signs of things to come. What our investigation has INEC done in just 24 hours? It's the police. The police should investigate. Bring some people in, let them come and explain. Because bring some people in, let them come and explain themselves. But I don't expect anything better. So it's a sign of things to come. Sheriff, it's a sign of things to come. I think the INEC could have crafted, maybe if they are started the aspirant with to our knowledge, that gives you a caveat, so you can have a place to dock into. But of course, it's going on. It's going on in the market. I'm very, very sure. I don't believe what INEC has said. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. Now let's go.
Do you
to
believe? You might say you don't. To my days.
what?
Do you believe the INEC statement? Do you believe the INEC statement?
Why did you do that?
You think I'm still paying for what you did? So
So I think because the person that reached out to me, that started this whole thing, reached out to me privately,
yes.
and the person was willing to even share their number, and the person shared their number.
Yes.
We went there to investigate, and we spoke with different traders,
And what did you
and
do?
they said the same thing.
That it was
They
happening.
were being forced.
So what do you think of the INEC?
Of course, INEC didn't. That's not the right thing that's happening.
You must put your
It's
money where your mouth
it's
is.
it's very INEC is not being INEC Lagos, to be specific. They are not being truthful in this case. They are not.
I don't believe them. Sorry.
Let's go to our next story, Vanguard, page 9. Insecurity, Nigeria not ripe for private individuals to bear arms. Njoku.
Yeah, it's a debate we must have. It's a debate we must have, and we are very close to it. And I think that one will initiate it for next week. Let us begin to ask ourselves, because we're at a cross border now, where it might be necessary for us to bear arms. When you find people like General Dandruma saying that you should defend yourselves, what does that mean? Are we going to have one ballet somewhere buying arms and then distribute when there is a problem? Or are we going to be allowed to carry this kind of things that you have here in a country like America? Is not likely to happen because you don't know what every individual you are confronting. You don't know what he has in his arsenal. So has Nigeria gotten to that point where we need to defend ourselves to bring some balance into what's going on? More so, since it appears that the government as a corporate body is not capable of providing that safety and succor. How many of our people are we going to allow to be slaughtered like fowls and like chickens before we now realize that we have to defend ourselves? So we will initiate the debate. We'll start it. We'll expect people to contribute. Don't think it is none of your business. Don't leave this to regular callers or what. We like some well-recognized people who have a lot of knowledge to take part in this kind of survey. It's very, very crucial.
Yes, it is.
It's very, very crucial, and we expect even the National Assembly to start to think of that. But Major General Elias Njoku, interim chairman, caretaker committee of the Association of Licensed Private Security Practitioners, has declared that despite the myriads of security challenges facing the country and seeming free ride of bandits who engage in kidnappings and other attacks against innocent citizens, Nigeria was not ripe for private citizens to be allowed to bear arms for self-protection. I disagree with this gentleman. I disagree with him. You see, because what is going to happen is that if you don't license arms for people's protection, people will get the arms anyway when it appears to be necessary. When push comes to shove, they'll get the arms themselves. Nobody wants to die. You were very good. Why were you quick to react to that? Why did you say you don't have any opinion?
The way the question came. The way the question came. Like, but I kind of agree with him, though. I don't think that we are ripe to have people being licensed.
Well, we should use carbide to ripen ourselves and move quickly and acquire arms. Because the truth is, it's okay for us to sit down here in our own comfort zone. Imagine how you would feel when all these Boko Haram people ride into town and you don't get the required support from the authorities.
Yes, so that is where I'm going. Like, yes, we may not be ripe, in my opinion, for licensing people to carry arms, to bear arms, but the government must be seen to be doing what they need to do in terms of protecting people.
There's no government that bothers about being seen to anything. They are thinking about themselves and acquiring money. You know that.
But the
government is.
They've said they should recruit 50,000 police officers, and then we'll recruit another 50,000,
of which another half will go again to, because these policemen are still going to find their way back to
VIPs. Yes.
It said so. It's reported in the papers.
Do you think that VIP stuff will work?
A musician has 2 in his house in Ijebu, 2 in his house in Lagos, 1 for himself.
Just imagine say this obodo whatsoever when to communicate with your people no just dey. Plus where you no fit even shout for help. Business go dey jam like hold up for Oshodi, and family dey find each other like needle for inside sand. Now wetin dey happen be this: anytime they vandalize our telecom mast and fiber optic cables. All this telecom equipment no be ordinary pole and wire. Na our lifetime na be this o. Dem dey connect us, dem dey inform us, and dey protect us. If dem break am, no be only signal go vanish. Schools, hospitals, banks, and even your small POS business they collect. Make we join body protect our network. If you see any report am sharp. Dial 622 or send email. Go protect.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.